Dealing with Your Money H. T underscore Money Manage, Parks, Cassie. Dealing with Your Money H. T. Money management that focuses on investing in your happiness and creating a budget to attract abundance. Cassie Parks. Advance praise. If anyone can teach us how to get straight with money, it's Cassie Parks. She not only knows this stuff inside and out, she walks the talk. Cassie is living proof that these concepts work. I don't know anyone who couldn't benefit from this book, including me. Jeanette Moore, The Good Vibe Coach. http://vibrationmarketer.com. Cassie Parks is one of those go-to people when it comes to the subject of money, not just because she walks her talk, but because her talk is so darn smart. Dealing with Your Money H. T brilliantly encapsulates Cassie's special blend of conscious creation and practical how-to tips, and I'm especially excited by her concept of an attraction budget. And believe me, anyone who can get me excited about a budget of any kind is working a small miracle, right there. This gem of a book is jam-packed with powerful insights into how to heal your relationship with money. I have no doubt that if you implement even half of what Cassie recommends, you and your bank balance will notice the difference. Money Magic, Engage. Jeanette Dalgleish, Brain Whisperer and author of the Everyday Superpower books, http://youreverydaysuperpower.com. I hesitate to take any advice, especially money advice, from anyone I don't know for sure is walking their talk. However, I know Cassie Parks, and that woman walks her talk in a big way. She builds wealth like no one I've ever met before. That is why Dealing with Your Money T should be the money Bible for anyone who wants to create a sustainable and prosperous future joyfully, with an emphasis on the joy part. This book is equal parts practical and magical. Cassie takes you on a journey through your own brain and thoughts clear through to the nitty-gritty of budgeting for abundance. It will inspire you to what's possible for you from wherever you are right now. The sky is the limit, and Dealing with Your Money T is your launching pad. Lisa M. Hayes, The Love Whisperer. http://www.liamas.com. When Cassie Parks talks about money, I listen. Because she's been there, done that. Not with the tears and trauma and near-death experiences you usually hear hyped from the self-made wealthy, but with a day job and practicality and a whole lot of fun. Cassie retired at 32. Cassie spends her days writing in coffee shops and her nights sipping champagne cocktails with friends. She took 10 holiday trips in 1 year. Most of us would look at that kind of life as the reward for years of working hard plus penny pinching plus struggle. But here's where Cassie is like years ahead of most money coaches. Cassie made the rewards part of her plan. She got to her dream life quicker and easier and with more daily bliss than anyone I'd ever seen before. I've always advocated the power of small daily upgrades and living as if you already are who you dream of becoming. So Cassie naturally became my money goddess and an intrinsic part of my money-making mastermind. If you want to master your money and really enjoy yourself along the way, you need to read this book. Like, now. Jacqueline Gates, Goddess, Coach, Nestor's Miser. http://www.jacquelinegates.com. This book is magic regardless of where somebody is financially. Reading through the chapters, I had aha after aha. I thought I knew this stuff, but I realized I knew it theoretically. It never really hit me. Till now. This is not only a book about money, it's about investing in yourself and in your happiness. The exercises will serve you tremendously in each and every area of your life. The persona exercise was mind-blowing for me. I found out things about myself I wasn't aware of. Cassie is as nice to read as a fairy tale, with the bonus of having the secret of all the magic spells explained in clear and easy to follow instructions. I was always told that the more you master a subject, the more you can make it accessible. Well, Cassie is a great expert on money because all of a sudden I understood concepts that used to be blurry, like dealing with beliefs with absolute clarity. This book will transform your relationship with yourself, how you view money and your life in general. Just make sure you act on what you read. Sonia Bar Fair. With my parents being in the financial advising industry, I understand so many reasons why traditional budgeting does not work for most people. Cassie's innovative method she shares here is brilliant. Definitely a book that will create a positive shift in anyone's financial situation. Cassie's insight towards financial wellness is spot on. The world needs this information, and I can't wait to recommend this book to my friends. Ginny Gain. http://www.ginnygain.com. There are a lot of money manuals on the market, and I've read many, but for me, Cassie Parks' Dealing with Your Money $H. T is the most practical, accessible, and fun to read. Her book is full of tips to make money glide happily into your life. This may sound like nonsense to the no-nonsense reader, but recent scientific research shows it is anything but. Additionally, if you flinch at the word budget, you'll love how Cassie has redesigned a tool of pain and self-denial into an expression of self-love to help you achieve your dreams with ease and grace. And she makes it fun. I love how she has simplified the seemingly complicated subject of personal finance, so that even I could understand it. I had to take 3-term algebra in high school. She's turned a common cause of procrastination into a reason for celebration. Many times during the course of reading Cassie's book, I said to myself, right, of course. How did I not see that before? One of my favorite parts of Dealing with Your Money $H. T details Cassie's own former challenges. Her anecdote about a victory over a 5-figure credit card balance will buoy readers who struggle with debt. I saw myself in her descriptions of working too hard for very little, of leaving one job for more money and a better position, only to find myself toiling away again like Bob Cratchit months later. She has lit a torch to help us out of that trap and all our money traps, once and for all. She writes, "It's my general rule not to take advice from anyone who isn't living the life I desire to live." Well, Cassie Parks has been financially independent since age 32. She is definitely living the life I desire to live. I am utterly grateful for this book and for her advice. Terry Hernon. Cassie is the money maven, and Dealing with Your Money $H is the perfect guidebook to show you how you can be one as well. She has clear, practical, and manageable steps to recognize and remove your money blocks and guides you to adopt a new mindset that is life-changing. After reading her book, you will have a completely new appreciation and relationship with money, one that will bring abundance to your life in more ways than one. If you're ready to step up your money game, this is the book you need to read. Laney Hodges. http://www.laneyhodges.com. Underneath the layers of our experience with money and financial abundance, or lack thereof, there is a center ripe with our stories, our thoughts, our energy and our beliefs around the green stuff. Cassie's work shoots right to that center and delves into the pieces you haven't even thought of, figuring out your current money persona, creating your budget for attraction, and understanding how directly your self-worth is related to your financial worth, and that's just to name a few. If you've only been scratching the surface in regards to your money shit, you'll want to read this gem in order to truly deal with it, once and for all. Melanie Bates, book shaman and life coach. http://melaniebates.com. Dealing with Your Money $H. T teaches you to get in touch with what you want and to give yourself permission to do it differently. Cassie highlights that financial success is about more than money, it's about your happiness. Tilda Joy Zalzala-Soyka. Sandstep Coaching. www.sandstepcoaching.com. Cassie Parks is an amazing person who takes you on a journey to owning abundance and reframing your money mindset. Through the book there are many hands-on exercises that get you thinking about what you think and feel about money and how to apply it to your everyday life. What I love about the exercises is that they are practical and really make you think in a different way, especially if you have grown up in an environment where money might have not been the main priority or money is seen and frowned upon. The exercises dive deep into your beliefs, and what you think and make you question your beliefs and attitudes. The book shows that by becoming aware of your money story you can begin to distinguish what is real and what is just a story from the past, and there you have the power to change your attitude around money. Tilda Anna Goncalves. One of the many things that I really appreciated about Cassie's book is that she really goes into depth about her story. The credit card debt, the giving up of certain dreams, dead-end jobs, etc. All of this leads to credibility and trust because she has been so upfront, and I feel a lot of people can easily relate to at least some aspects of her former money woes. Too many of the highly successful prosperity coaches seem to have forgotten this piece to their story or gloss over the exact steps to how they got to be so successful with prosperity. I also love how Cassie brings the concept of the energy of money along with concrete action steps which a lot of the aforementioned coaches seem to not include in their books and programs. Cassie brings the fun, yes, fun, to budgeting. I already implemented one of her concepts, budget attraction, for an investment in something you love, and the exact amount that I wanted to allocate for the following month arrived out of nowhere the day after I decided to create this fund. Tilda Nikki Davis. I see this book as a great first step in transforming your relationship with money. Cassie has developed many other supporting programs to make this book come to life, which can only lead to transformation for those who invest in this book and their money relationship. I love that Cassie's vision is that each person who transforms her or his relationship with abundance and wealth will collectively help others to do the same. That positive groupthink perspective is a powerful vision. Cassie practices what she teaches, which in turns creates a level of trust in her process and the results. Tilda Laura English. www.lauraenglish.net. I have read at least 150 books about money, make money, attract money, etc., and they did not work for me. I have taken my share of budget-making classes to even a few investment classes as well. All that work did not make me rich, not poor either. Cassie's approach is novel, a completely new way of thinking and working with yourself and your money. What's most inspiring is that Cassie retired as 32, and she had fun while getting to that point. Walk the talk is what I want to see. Let the money work for me and then focus on the real life. Being able to support others is my end goal, and I'm well on my way. This book is a practical guide, a fun and easy way to change my thinking and beliefs about money. I just love the budgeting for attraction. This was the biggest surprise and made the shift in my brain. Tilda Susan Flo. Cassie Parks has hit a home run with dealing with your money. H.T. Not only is the book short and easy to read, it's chock full of money goodness. Cassie very graciously shares her story with us. Not only does this give her street cred, but it also helps make her words of wisdom more real and easy to relate to. I'm sure we can each find parts of ourselves in some aspect of her story. But she does more than just tell her story. She also has some great ideas for changing our money mindset. Ideas that can make the process fun as well as rewarding. I can't wait for my friends to read this book, so we can do some of the work together. The budgeting for attraction process is really exciting me. Tilda Cindy Jones Lantier. Dedication. To you, for having the courage to read this book. You and money. Money is part of everyday life. There is almost no way around it, unless you move off the grid. And even then you had to earn money to pay for your off-the-grid place and to set up your solar panels. Money is a part of everything in some shape or fashion, which means your thoughts, beliefs and perceptions about money have been passively shaped since you were born. These thoughts, beliefs and perceptions are impacting your financial life today. Money impacts your life on a daily basis. It's your motivation for getting up and going to work. It's not because you have to. It's because you desire the money you earn. It's because you need the money you make at your job to live, eat, put a roof over your head. Are you saving for your dream vacation? Are you saving for your retirement? Do you have enough money to travel and enjoy your time off? If not, making more money would be beneficial. More money will give you the opportunity to invest in the things you want, like travel and time off to write your novel and create your own business. If you have kids, it gives you a chance to save for their college education. Maybe you need more money so you can go back to school yourself. There are a million reasons you need to make more money. You need to make enough money, not only to survive, but to thrive. To experience your life in a joyful way. It's true, money doesn't buy happiness, but it can make it easier. Your life would likely be easier and more fun if you were making more money. How you spend your money, whether you have a lot or a little, matters. If you spend more than you have, you end up paying for it for a long time on a credit card. If you don't spend money on experiences or things that make you really happy, you don't enjoy the money you're working so hard to obtain. If you're not enjoying your life and what you spend your money on, why are you working so hard for it? You need a budget that supports your desired money goals. You probably make sure you always pay your bills, but do you have enough left over to support what you want to do? If the answer is no, it could be because you're spending your money without intention. Creating a budget for attraction will create a magnet to create what you want, and will give you money to spend on things you truly want to experience rather than just the basics. Budgeting would be considered a four-letter word if it was only 4 letters. When you hear the word budget, it likely creates an emotion. Is it fear that you don't know how to handle your money? Is it anger, because it makes you feel restricted? Is it confusion, because you've never really been taught how to budget effectively or why you should budget? Budgeting for attraction is different. Instead of just showing you that you have extra money or need more money, it will help you define your goals and ways to support those goals. It will show you how to allocate for what you desire most. Budgeting can be fun and change your overall financial experience. Getting to know your money and where it goes can ease fear around money. Choosing how to allocate your money is empowering. Understanding how your money is allocated, and doing it so that it supports your desired lifestyle, gives you back control over your money. These are all the things you experience when you budget for attraction. Do you have dreams of traveling the world, spending more time with your family, or lying in the grass in the middle of the afternoon writing? Money buys experiences. However, it's often a trade-off. You either have enough time or enough money. If you have time, you don't have enough money to enjoy your time the way you'd like. If you have money, you're working too much to really enjoy the experiences money can buy. Making good money at a job usually only comes with 3 weeks off a year to enjoy it. Wouldn't it be great if you had the time and money to enjoy the experiences you desire? Do you need to make more money to be able to enjoy experiences more? Most people would like to make more money. Making more money would support you getting to your dreams faster. Wouldn't it be great to get to live your dream sooner? If you made more money, you could enjoy the free time you have more. Do you feel guilty because you're not contributing to your retirement fund, or your kids' college fund, your savings account or something else because you don't have enough money to do it? Making more money would make it easier to save for the things that are important to you. What stands between you and making more money? All kinds of thoughts and beliefs likely just popped into your head, about what it means to make more money, and why it might not be possible for you. Is it a fear that with more money comes more hours of work? Is it that you don't believe you can make more money? Is it that you believe there is some barrier like a degree, or an advanced degree, that will keep you from making more money? Maybe you just believe you're not the type of person who makes money with ease and grace. Have you ever noticed how money seems to come so easily to some people? It's as if they just have magic wand and more money shows up. Or they always get the promotion that leads to more money. Maybe they make really good money and they don't have to work themselves to death. Would you like to be one of those people? Your thoughts and beliefs impact your experiences, including how much money you make and how hard it is to make it. In order for you to have a different outcome, as in more money, you need to have an upgraded set of thoughts and beliefs to support you making more money. More money would make your life more enjoyable. You could enjoy more experiences with the people you love. Making more money means being able to breathe easier. It means you don't have to feel guilty about spending money on yourself. It means you can take care of yourself better. More money means more opportunity to enjoy your life and do the things you've always wanted. Do you allocate down to the very penny? Do you deny buying or doing the things that you love in order to avoid spending money, and still not have enough? You can be frugal all the time and still not have enough money, especially if your mindset is set up to support not having enough. You might not spend that much money, but you still don't have any. Shifting your mindset and setting up a budget for attraction, rather than just a budget, will support you attracting more money, and enjoying the money you have, no matter how little, that much more. One myth of money is that you have to deny yourself in order to make things work. Denying yourself all enjoyment of your money doesn't feel good, and it doesn't allow for flow, ease and grace. Denying yourself anything makes it harder to go to work every day. It takes the fun out of life. If you deny yourself all the good stuff, why spend all day at work? Learning to invest something, even if it's only a few dollars, into yourself and something that you love will create more joy in your life. More joy will lead to more ease and grace. Money flows easily in the presence of joy. Money is easier to make when you know you're going to enjoy some of it, rather than denying yourself. Setting up a system that supports spending money on yourself is key to budgeting success, and avoiding big impulsive purchases. Budgeting for attraction changes the way money flows, even when you don't have very much. Everyone wants more money. Most people need more money. Everyone also needs a budgeting system that supports his or her desired money outcomes. Understanding why money is working the way it is in your life right now will open your eyes to changes that can easily be made. Changing your thoughts and beliefs about money and increasing your focus on it will attract more of it into your life. How would it feel to have more money flowing into your life? This isn't working. You work really hard for too little. There's a Donna Summer song from the early 80s that talks about working hard for the money. If you're reading this book, you are likely a very hard worker. You likely come in early and quite possibly leave late. You work really hard for your money. Really hard. It's who you are. You probably find yourself working longer and harder than anyone around you. When was the last time you actually figured out what you are making? If you're salaried, your hourly wage probably comes out to be less than you think. You work way too hard for way too little. This is probably something you've always done. You've always been able to make money, but if you look back, it's probably come from a lot of work. Hard work is ingrained in you. It's become the only way you know how to make money. In fact, you're probably saying to yourself, isn't that how you make money? Working too hard for too little takes on many forms. Often it's the number of hours you put in, especially if you're salaried. You put in so many hours that if you calculated your hourly wage it would be frighteningly low. Another way to determine if you're working too hard is how hard your brain works. How much brain power does your job take? Different jobs take different amounts of brain power. This is another indication of how hard you work. Some take a lot of thinking and problem solving, which can leave you feeling drained. Some jobs require you to handle an extreme amount of pressure. Others require that you are constantly multitasking. All of these affect your overall well-being and the time it takes you to recover and recharge. Jobs that require an extreme amount of multitasking can be especially harmful to your overall well-being. When you multitask, it actually makes you less effective and you get less done because you lose time every time you switch subjects. This means if you are in charge of managing many tasks, you are actually going to have to work longer hours to get everything done. That's not good news if you're salaried. New studies are showing that multitasking may also be causing permanent damage to the brain. Therefore, if you're doing a job that forces you to heavily multitask, you may be causing permanent damage to your brain. Permanent damage definitely qualifies as working too hard. Another way you work too hard can be the stress your job causes. It's easy to say, let it go. Leave your job at the office, but you probably work in a job where leaving it at the office isn't that easy. Maybe there is always too many things to get done, so you leave at night with a list of tasks to do tomorrow that you know you'll never finish. That causes additional stress. The amount of stress your job forces you to handle is a very good indication of whether or not you're working too hard. According to Webm.com, 43% of all adults suffer adverse health effects from stress. 75 to 90% of all doctors' office visits are for stress-related ailments and complaints. Stress can play a part in problems such as headaches, high blood pressure, heart problems, diabetes, skin conditions, asthma, arthritis, depression, and anxiety. The Occupational Safety and Health Administration, OSHA, declared stress a hazard of the workplace. Stress costs American industry more than $300 billion annually. The lifetime prevalence of an emotional disorder is more than 50%, often due to chronic, untreated stress reactions. You aren't enjoying your life. A good indication of whether you're working too hard for too little is whether or not you have enough time, money and energy left to combat the stress you experience at work. If you come home drained and exhausted physically and emotionally, you are likely working too hard for too little. If you don't make enough to recover from your job, you might be working too hard for too little. Leaving your job exhausted and drained is preventing you from enjoying your life. You leave work so tired and exhausted that the idea of going to yoga, or salsa dancing, or meeting your friends for dinner, or anything else that feeds your soul doesn't feel possible because you only have enough energy to muster getting home and plopping down on the couch. Worse yet, you might still have work to do once you get home. With each passing day you become more isolated and irritated at the world. Sometimes, you don't recognize the person you've become. Is it really any surprise? Somewhere along the way, you stop doing those things that feed your soul because you're too tired to do them, which leads to more exhaustion, isolation and irritation. You aren't pursuing your dreams. You have dreams that range from reading a book in the park, to traveling the world, to making a bigger difference. You have a business you want to start. You have art inside you to be created. You have salsa dancing to learn. You have laughing with friends to do. You have amazing places around the world to experience. You're too tired to pursue any of them because your job is draining you and you have nothing left to fuel the pursuit of your dreams, not even the small one of taking an afternoon off to feel the sun on your shoulders and the grass between your toes while getting lost in your favorite book. Every day, your dreams seem further and further out of reach. With every realization that they are floating away, you become a little more irritated, a little more angry, and a little more bitter. Your dreams are important, and when you feel like you can't pursue them, it steals your soul, one piece at a time. In the event you have the energy to do what you want, you feel like you don't have the money. You take care of everything else before you take care of what you want. That's because you're responsible. You've always been pretty good with money. You are frugal. You don't waste money. Yet it feels like you work so hard and you have little to show for it. There's never money to spend on yourself. When extra money does show up, or you work diligently to save enough for something that is important to you, does it seem like an unexpected expense shows up? Maybe your car breaks down and you have paid to fix it. It seems like it happened out of nowhere. Everything was fine and now you have to spend the $500 you diligently saved, and were planning on using to go on a vacation, on your car instead. You're grateful you have the money, but it seems cruel and unfair that you have to spend it on something you didn't know was going to break. You're responsible, so you repair the car and forgo your vacation. With no real vacation, no adventure to help you recharge, you're left even more exhausted and frustrated that you are once again putting off your dreams. You don't know how to do it the easy way. More than once, you've had the conversation with yourself about how your life shouldn't be this hard. Again, you are so grateful to have a job and a home, but is it too much to ask for more happiness? More fun? More energy? More time for you? You know it's not. Life is supposed to be more fun and more meaningful. You know people who seem to have it easier. They don't seem as stressed out as you are. They're for sure happier. They seem to have time to do the things they love. It seems as though making money is a lot easier for them. It just happens. The easy way is something you don't understand. You've seen it. A part of you thinks there must be something sleazy or shady about making money and not being exhausted from it. Still, you wish you could be one of those people who it seems like money comes easy to them. They go to yoga and out with their friends. It seems like they're always having fun. You just don't know how to do it the easy way. Is there an easy way? Your brain, based on your beliefs and memories, creates the experience you have, easy or hard. You program your brain to highlight the experience you want to have. There are too many things for your brain to process every second, so it finds and shows you what it knows you want to see, based on your beliefs and your memories. If you want to see how hard it is to earn money, your brain is going to show you evidence of that. Sometimes you're even going to make things harder than they need to be in order to support your belief that it has to be hard to earn money. It takes learning and a little work on yourself and retraining your brain to learn how to do it the easier way. You keep repeating the same patterns. Maybe you've gotten yourself convinced it can be easier once or twice. You can make the same or more money with less stress and fewer hours. After all, you've seen it done, so it must be possible. So, you do it. You put your resume together and you pull out your interview outfit from the back of the closet. Then you go to work looking for another job. You are a hard worker and you are good at what you do, so eventually you find something. It sounds amazing. It sounds better than what you're doing. It's supposed to be less hours and it sounds fun and interesting and easier than what you're doing. It might even come with a raise. 1 month in, this job is good. It feels good. It's new. There's a learning curve, but you figure once you learn the ropes, you're going to be good. This job is going to be so much better than your last one. You even start to do things again. Get out and have some fun. Connect with your friends. You even start dreaming again. Finally, 3 to 6 months in, you realize you're in the exact same position you were. You are overworked, stressed out and exhausted. Again. Your money doesn't feel like it's enough for the hours you put in and the amount of stress this job causes you. It doesn't last long enough and you don't have enough money to do the things you want. Even though you got a raise, it's not enough. How did this happen again? You changed jobs, but you didn't change you. Therefore you ended up with the same result in a new job. This will be discussed more in upcoming chapters. The same patterns keep replaying over and over in your life. You work too hard for too little, which means you don't have the time, money or energy to follow any of your dreams. You don't even have enough time, money or energy to do the things that feed your soul. Sometimes it gets better, but it doesn't feel like it ever really gets better for good. You find yourself in the same experience over and over again. Why is this happening? Your thoughts and beliefs. As described extensively in Your Everyday Superpower, http://www.youreverydaysuperpower.com, your brain delivers the reality you experience. How does it do that? It is always taking in information, from both inside and outside. In fact, it's estimated your brain receives about 400 billion bits of information a second. That is way more than you could ever process consciously. How does your brain decide which pieces of information to deliver to for you to have the experiences you are having? It has a number of systems in place to filter out what is important to you. Two of the most important ones are beliefs and memory. You have been forming thought patterns and beliefs since before you can remember. Every new thought creates a new pathway between brain cells, and when you repeat that same thought, it uses the same pathway, and the pathway becomes a little wider and deeper. If that thought is repeated often enough, the path becomes a big wide superhighway and you now have a belief. And many of your beliefs, of course, were formed very early in life. Memory also helps your brain decide what to deliver. Human brains have a unique ability to predict the future based on what has gone before. That's an amazingly efficient system when it comes to most aspects of life. Our ancestors could search new terrain for mammoths while avoiding lions because they knew what kind of terrain is likely to provide rich hunting. You can drive your car without having to figure out the pedals and gear shift each time because your brain knows how it works. And if you've ever driven in another country on the other side of the road, you'll know how much harder your brain has to work to ensure you're getting it right. When it comes to deciding what parts of incoming information to deliver to you, your brain will give you more of what it already knows to be true. For example, if you believe you are bad at relationships, or you always pick the wrong guy, your brain is most likely going to provide you with more evidence of those beliefs. Even if you pick the most perfect guy in the world, your brain can only deliver the experience of not perfect. No matter what he does or says, your brain is only going to notice the pieces that match your existing beliefs. And of course, every time you receive that new evidence, it helps to cement the beliefs, and it creates even more memories of not perfect guy. Have you ever been with someone you thought was horrible and then after your relationship ends you see them with someone else and they seem wonderful? Your brain delivered evidence to support the belief I always pick the wrong guy, whether that was actually true or not. Like in the relationship example, your brain is always going to deliver an experience of reality that supports the thoughts and beliefs and memories you have about money. This is why, when you may have tried to change jobs or your financial situation, you eventually end up in the same place again, working too hard for too little. Your brain delivers even more evidence of what you believe to be true, and the field reflects that back to you. Your focus. The field is the other scientific principle at work in your money experience. Science is proving we live in a multiverse, a field of infinite possibilities where simultaneously all possibilities are happening at once. To put it simply, you navigated to the possibility you are experiencing right now. How do you navigate to a better experience? Through focus. You get more of what you focus on, which is part of the reason why you're experiencing what you're experiencing right now. You've been focused on the wrong things. You've created jobs where you have to work too hard because you're always saying things like, I am a hard worker, or, I work really hard. Is there anything wrong with being a hard worker? No. However, the continued focus on it has created experiences where you have to work too hard. Your focus has also created the experience of making too little money. Have you ever said something like I don't make enough money, or I work really hard for not much money? That's where your focus has been, and that is what you are continually creating. This is why, when you change jobs because it seems like it's going to be better, you end up with the same experience. You changed jobs, but you didn't change you. You didn't change your thoughts and beliefs, And you didn't change your focus. You haven't changed. The pattern of working too hard for too little will repeat itself over and over again until you change. Unfortunately, most people don't realize this. You can make job change after job change. You might even go for the big change of becoming an entrepreneur and starting your own business doing something you enjoy. Unfortunately, if you don't change first, your dream can turn into a nightmare just like every job. Once again, you end up working hard for little money. Why doesn't a change in circumstance yield a change in experience? For example, getting a new job that appears to be better, getting a raise, or starting your own business doing something that you love. Why don't these positive changes create a new reality? Why don't your beliefs upgrade themselves and your focus up-level its game automatically? It's not that simple. You've had years of practice with your previous experience. Your brain uses the memory it knows to help deliver the same experiences again and again. Remember, that is what kept our ancestors from getting eaten. In order for your experience to change, you have to change, which means your thoughts, beliefs and focus have to change. Your thoughts and beliefs are shaped by a lot of different things. The main one is your experience, including how you grew up. Your life has always been impacted by money. It impacted the stress level in the house you grew up in. When you asked for money, the response created thoughts which, when they happened over and over, became beliefs about money. You likely heard some of your deepest thoughts and beliefs pertaining to money said by someone important to you over and over and over again. Those thoughts created pathways to beliefs which now shape the reality you experience every time money is involved. Your beliefs can be conscious or unconscious. You might not even be aware of the ones shaping the reality you're experiencing, but they're creating the reality you're experiencing. When you turned 18, no one said, "Okay, now it's time to evaluate and create your own money beliefs." So, you simply carried the beliefs you'd formed as a child, most of which you're probably unaware of, into your adulthood. Then your brain continued to find evidence those beliefs were true, which further determined the neural pathway of those beliefs. Similarly, focus doesn't just automatically change when you put yourself in a new experience. Your brain is using memories to deliver your reality, which is going to keep you focused on what you have always been focused on. It's also possible to work really hard at changing thoughts and beliefs and still be focusing on the wrong thing, consequently still producing a less than optimal experience. Focus is a habit. If you don't break or switch the habit, you get the same thing. Your brain directs your focus to what it thinks you want to see, hear, experience based on what you have focused on before, the memory it has that it is going to deliver more of to you. Then you're going to experience more of what you're focused on because that is what you're putting out into the field. You get more of what you focus on. It can seem like you're focusing on something you want, but you're not. Debt is a good example of this. People will often focus on getting out of debt. Seems like a great place to focus. However, often they either incur more debt because something unexpected comes up while they're trying to get out of debt, or they finally get out of debt and something comes up and they are right back in debt. I've heard similar versions of this over and over again through working with people. Why does this happen when you are so focused on getting out of debt, and likely working really hard at it? Because you're focused on debt. Therefore, you end up with more debt. You've been teaching your brain to focus on debt. You've been putting debt into the field. So, you end up with more debt. Your focus needs to shift to something other than debt. The same thing happens when you are looking for a new job. You might say something like, "I want a job where I don't have to work so hard." You are focused on the working hard, which is why you end up getting a new job where you work really hard. A shift in focus equals a shift in experience. Your self-worth. Another reason your focus doesn't automatically change when the situation changes is that your degree of self-worth and how you determine it directly impacts focus. Your self-worth is the value you give yourself. Your self-worth impacts your ability to change your focus. You determine your self-worth by what you choose to place value on. Then you evaluate yourself based on these measures. If you've been raised to believe hard work is valuable, you probably also learned to measure part of your self-worth by how hard you're working. You can work really hard at changing your thoughts and beliefs about how hard you have to work, but if they're not sticking, it's likely because you're gaining your self-worth from working hard. You can change your beliefs and believe it's possible to work less, or feel better about work, but if you don't create a new way of determining your value, you will default back to working hard. Struggle is another place you might be getting your self-worth from. Struggle is often celebrated and worn like a badge of honor. The struggle to overcome something. The struggle that makes you fight and teaches you how tough you are. Those are struggles to be celebrated. But continuing to create struggle day in and day out, when you don't have to, in order to justify your existence, is a waste of a life. The same goes if you're proving yourself. If you are getting your self-worth from proving yourself, you're going to create situations over and over where you have to prove yourself. This process is exhausting, and it definitely does not pave the easy path to financial abundance. There is no way to sustain change to an abundance mindset if you're getting your self-worth from working too hard or not having enough money. A lack of self-worth also contributes to the guilt of having enough or more than enough. If you don't value yourself enough, you're likely to feel guilty when you have enough or more than enough to live. You very well may have enough to live right now, but the guilt you feel, which you might not even be aware of, about but can create havoc in your financial life. You can have unexpected expenses come up that drain what you've worked to save, because that will relieve the guilt. You might be running into a lot of resistance, or not getting jobs, because you feel guilty that it will be easier, and on some level you need to work hard enough, sacrifice enough, or experience lack enough, or you feel guilty. Lack of self-worth is the biggest barrier to you having the financial life you desire, one that involves ease and grace and enough money to live well. Your degree of self-worth is directly related to the success you will experience in changing your thoughts, beliefs and focus. Working on changing your thoughts and beliefs without adjusting how you value yourself is a little like fixing the engine in the car, but refusing to put gas in the tank. It doesn't matter how good the engine is working if there's no gas to take it out and drive it. You haven't given yourself permission to do it differently. You do things in life the way you were taught and the way you saw them being done. Did your parents enjoy what they did? Did they work too hard? Do the people around you love what they do? Do the people you know get paid really well without bearing loads of stress and discomfort while making money? Odds are, you don't know a lot of people who make really good money fairly easily. By easily, I mean without a ton of stress, without working 80 to 100 hours a week. When they figure out their hourly wage for all the time they put in, it's not minuscule. Having a different experience when it comes to money and jobs is something you have to give yourself permission to do. Not giving yourself a permission to do it differently and have a different experience will keep you repeating the same pattern. How many times have you said you want to do it differently? Maybe you even took some steps to do it differently, but it didn't work out. One of the biggest reasons is you didn't give yourself permission. You don't have a budget for attraction. The last reason you're experiencing working too hard for what feels like too little is you do not have a budgeting system set up for attraction. You may not have a budget set up at all. Most people's idea of budgeting is to try and not run out of money before the next paycheck is deposited. Some people take some money out and put into savings. Few consciously go about budgeting intentionally. The general way a budget goes is to guess how much you spend on certain things and put it into line items of a spreadsheet. You're supposed to then stay within these amounts. You should also realize when you do a budget if you are spending too much or if you have money left over you can spend. If you don't have enough, one of the first things most budgeting advice gives are ways to cut your expenses, which are generally cuts to the things you find most important or enjoyable. If you aren't getting any enjoyment from what you invest your money in, you are always going to have the feeling you don't have enough. Therefore you'll always be working too hard for too little. Your budget should help you feel more empowered, enjoy your money more, and be set up to attract more abundance into your life. If your budget doesn't make you feel this way, it's not supporting your financial success. How do you create a different experience with money? Shifting your experience with money can be done. It takes practice. If you've never held a basketball, you don't walk on the court and automatically start making free throws. You learn. You practice and you improve. Your abundance mindset is no different. It takes learning and practicing which lead to improvement and success. There's some work to do up front, but dedication to improvement pays off big. The better you get at creating a better experience with money, the easier it gets. The more money flows to you and the more money stays with you. Improving your experience with money requires improving your mindset and making some changes. The first step is identifying your money persona and your desired money persona. The next step is paving your path to abundance. Focusing on self-care and amping up your self-worth is next. This is going to create a supportive energy to maintain your new thoughts and beliefs and help you maintain your new path. Next you are going to set yourself up on a budget for attraction, followed by enhancing your focus on more abundance. How do you identify your current money persona? One way to begin to understand your interaction with money is to identify your money persona. A persona is the way you talk and behave. Your money persona is the acting out of your thoughts and beliefs about money. It's the money character you are currently walking around playing. You have a backstory, which includes your thoughts and beliefs about money. This is your money persona's origin. You've developed behaviors that are congruent with your backstory. You make money decisions based on your money persona. Every way you interact with money is based on your money persona. If your money persona is a rocking success who believes money comes easy and there is always enough of it, that's awesome. If your persona loves money, awesome. But, if your money persona lives in lack, sees money as hard to obtain, doesn't like dealing with it, or thinks you have to work really hard for it, that's not awesome. What do you think and believe about money? The first step in outlining your money persona is identifying what your current thoughts and beliefs about money are. Your thoughts and beliefs are the foundation of your current money persona, and it's important to get a clear picture of what you think and believe right now. You cannot change something you aren't aware of. Take a minute to think about money. What thoughts come to mind? Think some more about your money and your life. What do you believe to be true about money? What did you learn about money as a child? Do you still believe that? What did you learn in your early 20s? Do you still believe that? Is there a significant event in your life that greatly impacted money, positive or negative? It's important to identify your current thoughts and beliefs about money so that you can upgrade them as need be based on your intentions. The Money Mindset Workbook, http://www.moneymoneymoneycourse.com/bookgifts, will lead you in greater detail to become more aware of your current beliefs. Here's some additional questions that will get the juices flowing about your current money persona. How would you begin to describe your money persona? Are you a saver or a spender? Are you always worried there won't be enough? Do you feel guilty when you spend money? Do you give away more than you have? How do you view the purpose of money? What is good about money? Do you believe you can have money? All of these questions will stir up additional thoughts and beliefs about money. Write them down, or refer to the Money Mindset Workbook, http://www.moneymoneymoneycourse.com/bookgifts, for more guidance through these questions. How do you feel about money? Next up in identifying your money persona is to identify your feelings about money. How do you feel when you have it? How do you feel when you spend it? How do you feel when you save it? How do you feel when you run out of it? How do you feel about it on a daily basis? All of these are great questions to help you identify how you feel about money. It's a good idea to write out the answers to these questions as well. In the Money Mindset Workbook, http://www.moneymoneymoneycourse.com/bookgifts, you'll find guided exercises to support you in identifying your feelings about money. How is your relationship with money? Another aspect of your money persona is to look at your relationship with money. Think of money as something you are in a relationship with. Your current relationship with money is probably going to have a lot to do with how you think and feel about money. Is the relationship give and take, or does it feel one-sided? Here's a fun question for discovering more about your relationship with money. This question is in the Money Mindset Workbook. http://www.moneymoneymoneycourse.com/bookgifts. Choose one to describe your relationship with money. A. We're in love. B. We've been separated for a while. C. I can't live with it, and I can't live without it, so I try and avoid it as much as possible. D. Right now, we're just friends, but I'd like us to be more. How do you define money success? Your definition of success is the next part of your money persona. Do you define it by an amount of money in your savings account? Is it defined by being able to retire? Do you define it by the amount of money you make? Is it defined by the free time you have? Or maybe the things you can buy? Is it just hoping the 2 payments don't clear before the next check gets deposited? Understanding how you define success is important to understanding your money persona, and it's really important when you start to change your money persona. Your current definition of success may not be your own. Your current money persona. Thinking about all these questions will give you a better understanding of your current money persona. Take the time to think about them and answer them. Writing out the answers is a great way to access your subconscious and better understand what you are really thinking about money and what it means to you. Take as much time as you need with these questions. In a workshop setting, I would spend a half a day on this process. You want to allow enough time to make sure you've looked at everything and brought as much to the surface and your awareness as possible. Refer to the Money Mindset Workbook, http://www.moneymoneymoneycourse.com/bookgifts, for more guidance and support if you need it. After answering all the questions above, you will now have a much clearer picture of your current money persona. You may have even started to realize why you have the relationship you do with money, or how your current money situation is a reflection of your money persona. Write out what you have learned about your money persona in a character description. For example, your money persona might be like Debbie Debtor. Debbie Debtor spends money as fast as it's possible. She wasn't raised to respect money, and she's continued the habit. She believes she's never going to have enough money, and so why bother saving or counting to make sure she has enough? She'll just work forever. But because she works so hard, she believes she deserves to buy new stuff all the time. She doesn't really feel anything about money. She's disconnected from how it makes her feel. The disconnect makes it hard to see it as substantial. Her definition of money success is juggling payments so everything gets paid without an overdraft fee. Careful Carla believes money is to be respected. She was taught the value of $1. You work really hard for every cent you make, and therefore you make sure you never ever waste a penny. You might have to go out of your way to save 2 cents on gas, but you do it if you're careful Carla. She diligently saves. She doesn't spend any money on herself. She just puts everything in the bank. You would describe Carla's relationship with money like an old married couple in the 50s. They are married. They'll always be connected, but there's no fun. They sleep in separate beds. Abel Annie is a very hard worker. She was raised that way. She doesn't really like her job, but she works hard at it. She believes a few lucky people have more than enough money. She doesn't think she'll ever have a lot of money. Money is hard to come by. She just keeps working hard for it. She doesn't have a lot left over at the end of the month to spend on anything she likes. So, she just saves what little she has. She doesn't have a lot of direction for her money. Energetic Emma makes pretty good money. She tries really hard not to spend too much money, but sometimes things come along. When she spends more than she has, it's to try and make her situation better, either on a course she thinks will help, or on something to learn about business. She buys her clothes off the clearance rack because she's being frugal. She saves for retirement. She definitely wants to retire. She learns about saving more so maybe she could retire earlier. She's diligent about her money, but sometimes gets off track and goes on a spending spree. She doesn't love everything she buys, but she likes buying it. She bought her house because that's what you're supposed to do, and it was a good investment. My money persona was frugal for sure. I worked very hard. I believed I would have to work 10 to 12 hours a day for the rest of my life in order to be able to afford to retire. I thought the harder I pushed and the more I sacrificed, the more successful I would be. I defined success by money alone. I pushed hard in my job and it worked, but when I pushed hard in my business, money didn't flow. I believed this to be because I wasn't working hard enough. I'm dedicated and disciplined when it comes to work. My money persona sacrificed what she really loved for the clearance tag. She got a high from filling a bag of cheap clothes for $100. She thought she was respecting money by getting so much for so little. She was not. She wouldn't spend a ton of money, yet she felt like she didn't have enough. She felt like she couldn't get enough. She needed more and more money and would work many different side jobs to get it. My former money persona didn't honor her money enough to track. She always had enough to pay the bills, but she didn't have a good enough relationship with money to know where it all was going. She was a saver. She always had some money going to retirement, because she wanted to retire someday. Her relationship with money was a lot like two people who have been married a long time and just live in the same house. They interact routinely but they don't get in bed and have fun together. They don't talk about their dreams together anymore. They simply go through the motions. That's the relationship I had with my money. How to create your new money persona. Now that you know who your current money persona is, it's important to decide who you want your money persona to be. How does your desired money persona think and feel about money? Creating a clear picture of who you desire to be is important, because as you go through the process of evaluating your thoughts and beliefs, you need your ideal persona to compare to know which thoughts and beliefs stay because they support your money persona and which ones are going to require upgrading. Your ideal money persona can change over time. It's a growth process. It's something you can come back to and up-level time after time. You want a money persona that supports your whole being. What is most important to you? This might be the most important question you ask yourself in this process. Take the time to think about it and answer it from your heart and not your head. If a money persona doesn't support you and your whole being, you can't support it for very long. Financial abundance is only sustainable when it supports your whole being, and vice versa. Core values are a good place to gain information about your ideal money persona. Your core values tell you what is more important to you. When you are honoring your core values, you are happier. Later in the book I'll talk about how being happier will help you make better financial decisions. There is a core values exercise in the Money Mindset workbook, http://www.moneymoneymoneycourse.com/bookgifts. Core values are not just important because they can help you make better financial decisions, they're important because you want a life that feels good to live. If you have financial success, but you aren't honoring anything that is important to you, living your life isn't going to feel good. Not only does that suck, you're not going to be able to sustain that for long, which means your financial success won't be sustainable either. You can find a core values exercise in the Money Mindset Workbook, http://www.moneymoneymoneycourse.com/bookgifts. One of the best ways to determine who you want to be, and how you want to live your life, is to recall who you were as a child. As you grow up, you adapt. Often you leave behind dreams and other things that were important to you as a child. Take a few minutes and think about what you wanted your life to look like when you were a kid. Write it down. Did you want to be a race car driver? If so, you might want to have a money persona that spends money on exciting, thrill-seeking adventures. Did you love singing? If so, when was the last time you sang? It might be time to allocate some money for that. Did you want to sail across the ocean? If so, it might be time to identify a money persona that supports sailing across the ocean. Did you want to be a painter? When was the last time you invested in art supplies? Thinking about what you enjoyed as a kid is a doorway to your soul and some of your truest desires. Your ideal money persona, the person you want to become, needs to define complete success. Complete success includes how your life feels when you're living it. What good is all the money in the world if you're bored? Or if you never had any fun on the way to the big pile of money? Creating the ideal money persona requires looking at the whole picture, and tapping into what feels good and exciting and joyful to you. In addition to thinking about your childhood, accessing what you really want through your subconscious can be a great way to figure out what your true desires. Vision boards are often used as a deliberate creation tool. The process can also be used to identify what you are craving in your life. Take an afternoon. Grab some magazines and just let yourself thumb through them and pick out anything that you love. Get a poster board and create a collage with the images and words you've selected. When it's completed, take a good look at it, and analyze how it makes you feel, and the themes that pop out. What do the images represent? These are huge clues to what you really want. For example, if you find your poster board filled with pictures from around the world, you likely desire some travel and some adventure. If you cut out the words, once in a lifetime experience, you are probably craving deeper experiences. This could be adventure. It could be more soulful conversations with girlfriends. If the pictures are serene, like the beach or a big jungle, you might be in need of some downtime to just be. If you have many images of beautiful flowers, you might want more natural beauty in your life. The coolest thing about this process is that you will probably realize right away what you are craving more of once you step back and look at it. This process is fantastic because you can see what is missing, and also see what your soul needs. If you need help interpreting your board, I'm here. Creating a persona that represents what you want is crucial to the sustainability of your new money persona. Identifying a persona that represents you instead of a compilation of other people's thoughts and beliefs will make it easier to commit to change. Including the aspects of life that you are drooling to have will make your money persona uniquely you. A quality persona that you are striving for and using to base decisions on is going to create a quality life. It will make all aspects of money management easier and more fun. How do you want to think and feel about money? Do you want to love and adore it? Do you want to see its power? Do you want to think you're totally capable of making it, with ease and grace, and having more than enough to live the life you desire? What is the relationship you desire to have with money? Do you want to be taking moonlit walks on the beach with it all the time? Do you want all aspects of it to feel like a party? Do you want to feel like it's going to be there for you? Do you want to feel like you have some say-so? The answers to all the above questions will guide the creation of your new money persona. Take a minute to think about all the parts of your new money persona. Take a minute to imagine how this person moves through the world. Think about how they react to certain situations. What does their day look like? What is he or she doing differently than you are right now? This is the life you want to live. This is the life we're going to move you closer to. Write down a character description of your new money persona. Now you have something to evaluate with. Every time something comes up, you have a persona to evaluate against and point you in the right direction. Having a firm idea of who you want to be and how you want to live is key to changing your thoughts and beliefs. If you don't know where you want to go, you may make decisions that are based on other people instead of your own internal desires. Your money persona is going to help you when you come up against decisions. For example, if you get offered a new job with more money, but it would mean more hours, you can think about your money persona. What is important to you? If it's not more money, but more time to travel, you can easily say, no thank you. If someone leaves you a chunk of money, you'll know what to do with it that will make you happiest. If you run up against times where money is tight in your business, you can fall back on your new money persona beliefs to help yourself get back on your feet. How to pave your path to abundance. Create a new belief system to support your money persona. Creating a belief system about money that you desire to have will support your desired money persona. Write down all the thoughts and beliefs you have about money, or go back to the list you already wrote down or to your list in the Money Mindset Workbook, http://www.moneymoneymoneycourse.com/bookshifts. Look over your list, and identify what on that list is not congruent with your new money persona. You can cross them off. Or create lists, the thoughts and beliefs that are staying, and thoughts and beliefs that you're letting go of. You can shred the list you're letting go of, or just throw it away. Make a conscious choice to let go of the beliefs that no longer support your new money persona. Here's another way of creating beliefs. Draw a line down the middle of the paper. On the left side, write down the thoughts and beliefs you are releasing. On the right side, write down a thought and belief you are going to start practicing to replace the one you wrote down on the left side. Then shred or throw away the left side and keep the right side. There are lots of ways to release the old beliefs. Often, awareness is the most effective way to release an old thought pattern. This process of letting go happens instantly when you become aware of a thought or belief that isn't serving you. It dissipates into thin air as soon as it becomes conscious. No further action is required. If awareness alone doesn't feel like it's doing the job, check out other ways to let go of old beliefs in the Money Mindset Workbook, http://www.moneymoneymoneycourse.com/bookshifts. The most important step in changing your beliefs is to identify and practice the new beliefs you desire to have. Practice your new beliefs whenever you get the chance. Read them each morning and night and refer to them as needed throughout the day until you feel like they've taken over. Be open to them taking over. They will serve your success. In addition to your beliefs, your thoughts also need to be upgraded to support your new money persona. Becoming conscious of your thoughts is step 1. Start to pay attention to what you're thinking, especially when it comes to money. Ask yourself if the thoughts are rooted in a belief that needs to be let go of. If it does, let it go. Step 2 is to change your thoughts to match your new persona. Remember, every time you think the same thought, the pathway in your brain becomes deeper and wider. Every time you have a thought about money or finances, check it against your new persona. Would your new persona think that? If not, change the thought to something he or she would think. For example, if you had the thought, I can't afford that, your new persona might believe she can afford everything in time. So she might say or think, I'm not ready to invest in that yet, or I look forward to the day I purchase that. These are important shifts. You are listening to everything you tell yourself. Make sure your thoughts, and what you speak out loud are in alignment with what your desired outcome. Small shifts in thought make a big difference in outcomes. Think about the downward spiral of feelings and thoughts that likely follows. I can't afford that. How would it prevent that spiral or lessen that spiral to use one of the above suggestions? If you tell yourself you're going to get it one day, everything starts working together to support that. Your brain starts looking for ways that's possible. You start moving in the direction of getting it naturally and easily. When you catch yourself thinking a non-supportive thought, think the new thought at least 3 times to give it more juice than the original thought. Start paving the pathway of your new thoughts so you create a new belief. Say the new thought over and over like a mantra until it feels solid. Say it out loud so you are processing it more than one way. Find a way to give it more energy than the original thought. The more you think like your new money persona, the more you become him or her, and the more you start experiencing the life you desire to live. Substitute words that cause an emotional reaction. One way to support the change of your thoughts and beliefs and to start walking down an abundant path is to eliminate words that cause an emotional reaction, or have a negative emotional charge. For example, the word spend might cause guilt about what you're spending money on. Paying the bills might feel heavy and unpleasant. What if you substituted both for invest? I invested $75 in gas. Or I invested $1,500 in our housing for next month, paying the mortgage. It feels better. There are slightly varying definitions of the word invest, but basically it comes down to putting money to use for a future return. When you pay your house payment, you are putting money to the future use of having a roof over your head. If you invest in shoes, you're putting money to use for the future return of having shoes to wear. It's up to you to evaluate the investment. If the shoes are for work or to work out, the investment will pay off every day. If the shoes are only going to be worn twice a year, you might not be getting the same payout. Although you might be investing in a future experience of glamour and feeling really good, it's up to you to judge if that investment pays out as good as you want it to. Thinking in terms of the future return is a big help in guiding you to your everyday investments. Consider evaluating all the money you spend through the investment terms. What is the future return it is going to bring you? Evaluating and honoring what you're investing in will go a long way to improving your financial sense and savvy, and the abundance you experience. If the only return you're going to get is in the moment, a quick hit from buying something, you might wait and see if you still want whatever it is tomorrow. This doesn't always have to do with spending less. Sometimes it could mean investing more in something you love. If it's a little more than you would normally spend, but there's a big energetic payout, the extra investment might pay off big. A friend of mine had a basic practical Kia she bought right after her divorce. One day we were in a parking lot and as we were talking, the sports car Kia drove by. She looked at it longingly and said, "For $30 more a month, I could have had that." Think of how much better the energy would be in that car. It would totally be worth the $30 a month. For $30 more a month, she would have bought herself the feeling of more freedom and adventure, which would have served her greatly. Instead, she chose practically. She saved $30 a month, but the energetic and feeling payout was less. In this case, spending the extra money on the car would have had a big payout emotionally and energetically. A recent example from my own life is my parking space inside the building where I live. It's $35 cheaper to park around the corner. If I were only looking at the financial payoff, I'd continue to park there. However, parking in my building feels so luxurious. It saves me time of walking around the corner, and also saves time when I have to leave around 5 p.m., because a lot of commuters park around the corner and they all leave at the same time. It saves me the hassle of searching for a place to park when I'm out on the weeknights, because the lot fills up with weekend traffic. In my building, I park in the same spot every time. People that park here, live here, so there's rarely a mass exodus to contend with. The best part is, I don't have to walk in the cold or carry my groceries half a block. It's so worth $35 more to park where I'm parking now. There is a way to honor your budget and get the most return from your investment. Understanding and applying this is important to your financial success. Practice the feeling of more than enough. If you've been walking around feeling like you don't have enough money, you've probably been practicing that thought over and over, and now it's become a belief. Practicing the alternative thought or belief that you have more than enough is one of the most important things to practice as you shift your financial mindset. It also helps to continue paving your path to abundance. More than enough is abundant, no matter the number. It takes practice, but it is worth it. Remember, your brain is going to show you evidence to support what you are thinking about. Practicing having more than enough is going to lead to you being shown proof that you have more than enough. More than enough is a great place to create more from. Test out your feelings when you say, I have more than enough versus I have enough. Which one has more energy? Which one feels better? The one that feels better is going to lead to more of what you want. There's a whole bunch of opportunities to practice this. Odds are you have more than enough socks. You probably have more than enough of a lot of other things. Even if you're not where you want to be financially yet, certain times of the month you probably have more than enough money in your account. Practice opening up your account on those days and acknowledging you have more than enough. Watch how things start to shift in your life. How else do you practice the feeling of more than enough? Start to keep a list of what you appreciate. Start to say thank you whenever you invest money in anything. Say thank you when you pay a bill. If you still get paper bills, write thank you on the bill. Say thank you when you invest your money in something you love. Go overboard with gratitude for what you already have. Another way to practice the feeling of having more than enough is to make it part of your routine. Once a day, take a few minutes and write out a list of what you have more than enough of. Write out, I appreciate having more than enough, fill in the blank. The more you look for what you have more than enough of, the more you will find you have more than enough of so many things. You can also find this exercise in the Money Mindset Workbook. http://www.moneymoneymoneycourse.com/bookgifts. Appreciating what you already have opens the door to receiving more. Follow your inspiration. As you upgrade your financial beliefs, you will find you're inspired to explore new financial opportunities. In the past, you may have clung desperately to promises of making thousands of dollars or purchased programs that promised to show you the easy way to get wealthy. Inspiration feels a lot different. It's quieter. It doesn't feel desperate. Follow your hits of inspiration, and see where they lead you. Remember, if it feels desperate, exit immediately. Following your inspiration, even if you don't understand it, can lead to new opportunities and possibilities. There are countless stories in the Money group where people start following their inspiration and find money ranging from a few cents to a couple $100. Inspiration is that little nudge or feeling of curiosity to check something out. Inspirations are like breadcrumbs leading to abundance. Listen to them and follow them. Celebrate the journey. As you change your financial mindset, it's important to celebrate the journey. You get more of what you focus on, and when you focus on celebrating forward movement, you get more forward movement to celebrate. Making progress and growing and changing your financial mindset is something to be honored. It feels good to celebrate your accomplishments. Celebrating also acknowledges to yourself that you are making forward progress. Celebrating the journey paves the way to enjoying the destination more. Continually reevaluate. You set intentions for your financial experience. You create a plan for where you're going, and what you want to accomplish. However, your goals can change and expand over time. You might get halfway down the road, and realize you want to go a different direction that you didn't see before. That's okay. It's all part of the growth process. Build in a process or system to check in and evaluate where you're going. It's important to check in case your desired destination has changed. It's also important to check in to make sure you're still headed where you want to go. Sometimes, you can get off track and not even realize it. You put your head down and go to work, and forget to look up. All of a sudden you look up and realize you're not going where you thought you were. Another reason to check in is to make sure you're giving yourself credit for the progress you've made. When you have your head down moving forward, sometimes you don't realize how far you've come. It's important to honor your forward progress by evaluating where you've come from. Pat yourself on the back as you move toward your intention. The more you increase your financial mindset, the more dreams will rise to the surface. Include these new inspirations in your plans. Setting up a system to evaluate what is happening every so often helps you stay on top of what's changed. It also gives you an opportunity to see how things are shifting and how much you've grown. Reevaluate and shift what you're doing as needed to stay in line with your truest desires. How to increase self-care and self-love. Getting happy and taking care of yourself is key to supporting your new thoughts and beliefs about making money. A University of Toronto study showed that when you are happier, you actually see more of the world. Your peripheral vision increases with your happiness. Your degree of happiness literally affects what you are able to see, which means if you're walking around miserable, you could be missing valuable pieces to creating your financial success. In addition to seeing more of what's important, taking really good care of yourself affects your ability to upgrade your thoughts and beliefs. Think of a time when you were learning something new. Did it require extra energy? Did your brain literally hurt at certain moments? Think about changing your route to work. If you've had to change it up due to construction or something else, you have to think more and be more focused on that change because your brain has the groove set for your old route to work. That attention to detail and focus takes energy. You are like a gas tank. You have to have energy, gas, to live your life. It takes a certain amount of energy to do each thing you have to do. If you're running close to E all the time, you don't have a lot of extra energy left over to put towards changing your thoughts and beliefs. When you don't put energy into changing your thoughts and beliefs, the changes aren't likely to hold because your brain will take the easiest path, which is to default back to the old groove or pattern. When someone isn't experiencing success in money, http://www.moneymoneymoneycourse.com/bookgifts, my suggestion is always to stop and focus on self-love. This always does the trick. People jump back in and experience exponentially greater success. The first step is to take really good care of yourself. Make sure you are getting enough rest and eating good food and allowing for relaxation and fun. If you've been working really hard, you probably have not been taking really good care of yourself. Evaluate your self-care. If you want to increase your abundance, step 1 is moving yourself up on your priority list. The world is a reflection of what is going on inside you. You are putting out how you should be treated and what you are worth. If you want something different than what is currently going on, you have to become a different person. You have to put something different out into the world than you have been. Have you ever made the choice to leave a job because it wasn't good for you only to find yourself in another job that is just as bad or worse for you? It's because you didn't take care of yourself. You didn't change before going to the new job. You didn't make yourself a priority and therefore neither did the new job. Examples of not taking care of yourself can be found with money too. Have you ever gotten a big chunk of money, only to have a big expense come up? You were going to spend that money on something cool, but instead you had to spend it on something practical. You put it out there that you're not worth it, and then you created something else to spend the money on so there wouldn't be any left for you. All of these things happen and keep happening because you are not taking care of, loving and honoring yourself. This pattern will keep repeating until you change. You have the power to change the pattern by simply making yourself a priority and investing in your happiness. People want to wait until everything else is taken care of before they take care of themselves. If you learn to take care of yourself first, everything else will flow easier. This is a learning process. It doesn't mean you go on a spending spree and blow your money because it makes you feel good for the moment. It means you put some of your money aside for you. We'll talk more about this in the next section. How to create a budget for attraction. When you read the word budget, you most likely rolled your eyes, threw up in your mouth a little, and or seriously considered skipping the next few pages. I don't blame you. Traditional budgeting isn't awesome. Most budgets have you fill in numbers and tell you where you're over or under on all of your spending. If you have too little money, they don't tell you what to do about that. If you have more money than you need, they don't give you any guidance about what to do with it. In the traditional way of budgeting, there is nothing that makes you want to jump up and down to input the numbers or to change your spending habits. If you budget for attraction, you'll actually create containers for where you want your money to go. Like attracts like. Therefore, having money set up for certain things, like vacations, a new car, those new shoes or education, will actually attract more money to those areas. It also gives you a great way to plan on having money for yourself and shows you how to allocate those big dollar amounts when they show up. As you increase your abundance mindset, those big dollar amounts will show up. Budgeting for attraction also gives your brain an understanding about how you desire to allocate your money. It gives your brain a plan. With a plan to work with, your brain will actually work with you to follow your budget. When you start budgeting for attraction, you'll be amazed at how you can start investing money in areas you haven't before and still have money left over. This is my favorite part about budgeting for attraction. Consciously spending money on myself left me with more money, not less. How do you budget for attraction? Ideally, you allocate your money according to the following percentages. Living 60%. Loving 10%. Sharing 10%. Growing 10%. Creating 10%. Living. Invest 60% of your take-home income on living. This is your expenses, what it takes for you to live. Things that get put in this category are mortgage or rent, car payments, food, etc. Loving. Loving is 10%, and it is how you invest your money in your happiness or fun, plane tickets, concert tickets, football games, going to the movies, fancy dinner, skydiving, massages, etc. This can be anything, really, as long as it's an investment in your happiness. This is the most important area. It's a must that you spend your allocated amount each month, or at minimum every 2 months. This is important because it gives you money to spend on you, which makes spending money on everything else feel better. Sharing. Sharing is 10%. In the top 3 reasons I hear from anyone I talk to about why they desire more money, it's so they can give it away. So this gives you a way to do it now, and anchor that so that you are attracting more to share. I prefer share to give. I grew up hearing how I had to give, so now I prefer to share. It feels better to me. If you'd rather consider this allocation giving, you are encouraged to do so. I enjoy sharing my wealth. I view my money as wealth, no matter how much it is. Sharing your wealth can take on many forms. You can share by treating a friend to dinner or a massage. You can share by making a donation to a charity. You can share by buying something for someone that you know needs it. The most important thing about sharing your wealth is that you feel really good about it. If it doesn't feel good to share your wealth, don't. It's a personal choice and shouldn't be judged. Neither should the way you choose to share your wealth. The more you do what feels good, the easier money will flow to you. If you were taught there is only one way to give, to a church or a charity, you are hereby released of that. Sharing is sharing, and no matter how you do it, it supports your financial growth and raises the overall vibration. If you can't invest 10% in sharing right now, you can find a way to invest something, even if it's just $1. Once a month, carry $1 in your pocket, and when it feels good, give it away. If you can invest $20 or $30, you might consider visiting your favorite charity and asking them what they need. You can make an official donation or just go buy them what they need. Often they need things that aren't in the budget or that are a lot of hassle to get. This is a nice way to make a big difference for a small investment. Growing. 10% also gets allocated to growing. Continued growth is important. It's fulfilling to invest in the betterment of yourself. The money in your growth allocation can be used for college funds, seminars for you, or your own education fund. Growth money is to support the continued growth and mental expansion of you and your family. If you can't allocate 10% to growth right now, think about what you can allocate. $5? $20? If you purchased this book, you spent less than $5 on it, and that counts as growth. If you have $20, maybe you can invest in a program or a couple books. Maybe you could save up for a few months and invest in a coaching session. Commit to investing some money each month into your growth. Creating and dreaming. What dream are you creating? A vacation home? New car? Financial freedom? Starting a business? Whatever it is, allocate 10% of your wealth to the dreams you are creating. Allocating money to your dreams creates an anchor and a container for them. The anchor attracts more, and the container provides a space to hold the money. These are your funds for creating your dreams. The creating fund is where you might want to set up a fund that has 6 to 8 months of expenses. This is a fund that supports the creation of freedom. It's the fund that gives you space and time if you need it, or if something happens and you have to find a different income. Or if one day you decide you need a break from your job. Your freedom fund will support the transition. Your dreaming fund is a place to invest in short-term intentions as well as long-term ones. You may want to set up a creation fund for a vacation home, your next dream vacation, or to start a business. You can be creating as many dreams as you want. Allocate your 10% to these funds however you desire. You may want to do 5% of your total income to your next vacation, and 3% toward a new house, and 2% to a new car fund. Or some other mix altogether. Allocate this fund however feels best and most abundant to you. You may want to set up separate accounts for all of these allocations and have the money deposited into each account right out of your check. Or maybe you like seeing the money transferred out of one account to another. Maybe you like the feeling of physically getting cash out of the bank and putting it in a specific place for some of the long-term goals. Or maybe you enjoy making the transfer manually. Do it however it feels best. Just make sure to make it a habit. Adding in a ritual around contributing to your dream fund will make it more fun and support the habit. For example, if you're saving for a beach vacation, you can create a ritual around the beach. Maybe you make Mai Tais and drink them as you make the transfer. Or maybe you get cash out of the bank and keep it in a beach money jar. You can toast Mai Tais as you put the money in the jar. Dress in your beach wear for the night. Make it fun. The more fun you make the process, the more you'll stick to it and the more abundance attraction juice you'll get out of it. Make your budget yours. The cool thing about this system is you can personalize it completely. Your goal is to have no more than 60% of your wealth going to your expenses and what you need to live. You can manipulate this number however you desire. If you have less than 60% going to your expenses, you can add in some fun living expenses, like getting a massage or one really fancy dinner a month. Meals out was something I really learned to evaluate when I started working my attraction budget. Eating out a couple nights a week really didn't seem like it fit into living expenses, and I didn't want to take it out of loving. So, when I evaluated, I decided I could eat at home more often, which would come out of my living money, and go out to nicer dinners as part of my loving money. When I looked at it that way, it was an easy switch, and one that led me to enjoy my money more. I experienced much more joy going to a couple fancy dinners a month than I did eating out every other night. As you start to figure out where everything in your life fits, you start to evaluate how you are investing your wealth, and if it is really where you want to invest it. Often, you just start spending money. You pay the bills on time, but you don't look at it as a whole with intention. It's your wealth to invest and to figure out what feels good. The key is doing it with intention and following your feel good. Handling your money probably hasn't been enjoyable for a long time. There is an abundance of ways you can put the fun back in your money. The more you connect joy to your money, the easier money is going to flow to you. Find ways to connect joyfully with your budget for attraction. Put the bills on auto pay if it doesn't feel good to pay them. Then focus on making investing in the other areas routine, fun and ritualistic. Make investing in other areas a celebration. Let budgeting for attraction open you up to enjoying your money again. What do you do if you don't fit in the budget? What do you do if you are currently spending more than 60% on living expense? You have options. You can leave things as they are, and as your income increases, you will become more in line with the ideal. You can evaluate ways to lower your expenses. In this case, it's fun to lower expenses, because that means there is more money to be allocated to other areas. Or you can find a way to increase the amount of money coming into your life. For example, if right now you have more than 60% going to expenses, you can set the intention to change that. Register for money to start attracting more money into your life. When more money comes in, use 60% of it to lower your expenses. With focus and dedication, you can quickly get the percentages where you desire them to be. Personally, when I started, my expenses were greater than 60%. A lot of that was due to having credit card debt. I set the intention to get my expenses below 60% so I would have more money to invest in other areas. Every time extra money came into my life, like a tax return, a bonus, or any money I wasn't expecting, there's lots of these stories in money, I would invest 60% of it in lowering my expenses by paying that 60% to the credit card with the lowest balance. As soon as that credit card was paid off, I would take the payment I was paying and apply it to the next card with the lowest balance. Eventually, everything was paid off. Invest in all areas. The most important thing about budgeting for attraction is to invest something into every area. Even if you only have a few dollars, allocate and invest money in all areas. What you focus on grows. Where you invest money, even if it's only a few dollars, you will attract more money. By investing in all areas, you are putting out into the world that those areas are important, and you do want more money coming to those areas. It's seed money to attract more money. Putting your budget for attraction into place. This type of budgeting is enjoyable because it covers everything and doesn't just lump you into expenses, savings and spending. There is more intention to it. It is also set up to give you more room to play. The more fun you have with your budget and your money, the more financial success you will experience. The first step is to evaluate where you are. You can get yourself a free budgeting for attraction spreadsheet at http://www.moneymoneymoneycourse.com/bookgifts. Plug in your current money allocations, and see how the calculations shake out. Then go through and evaluate whether you want to cut some things, or simply move some of these current investments to different areas. You might even find you need to increase how much you're investing in one part of your life. That's the fun part. Start with the area that means the most to you. Is the most important thing in your life having fun? Start by filling out the loving sections of your budget for attraction. If you are someone who likes to feel safe and know everything is taken care of, work on the living section first or the creating section. You're going to work on all sections, but start with what's most important to you first. Let the energy of what you love fuel the parts you might not be as excited about. You'll feel more empowered, because you have more choice in your budget. If you've ever tried to budget before, you know it's important to feel like you have a choice in how you're investing your money. Budgeting windfalls. One of the best things about having a budget for attraction is you have a built-in plan for when extra money comes in. If you are paying more for living than 60%, you have less to invest in other areas. So, allocating the extra money to those areas might feel really good. The other option is to invest the extra money the same way you do your income. For example, if you have an extra $2,000 fall into your lap, it happens more often than you think, especially to people in money. You would invest $1,200 into lowering your expenses. You could pay off a credit card, or pay down some of your mortgage. You then have $200 to invest in all other areas. Live it up with your loving investment. Have a lot of fun sharing $200. One time, with my bonus, I got my sister a really big gift card to a home improvement store. She had just bought her first house, and I knew there were things she wanted to do, so I shared 10% of my bonus with her. It felt really good. Using this method makes sure everything is covered. It makes sure you have some fun with the extra money, so you feel like you've been taken care of. It also allocates money to lowering your expenses so you will have more money to invest in other areas right away, if you paid off a credit card and no longer have that bill, or in the future, if you paid down part of your mortgage. Take a minute to just think about what you would do using the budget of attraction method to allocate an extra $2,000. Focus on what you want. If you feel like you haven't had enough money, your focus is likely to persist on not having enough. As mentioned before, that's how your brain works. It focuses on what you tell it to, which is automatically set by where you've focused your attention in the past. Your focus will continue to be where it's been driven until you highlight something new for your brain to focus on. What you focus on matters, and will show up the more you focus on it. First, your brain is looking for what you've told it to focus on, so you're going to find it. Second, like attracts like. You're going to attract more of what you're focusing on into your life. Earlier in the book I described how at one point I was very focused on paying off debt, which led to more debt. It makes total sense because I was focused on debt. As I shifted my focus to have more money to save and to spend on myself, I found myself with more money to save and spend. Where you focus matters, because it's going to affect the outcomes of your life. It's important to focus on what you want. Sometimes that can be tricky, so go one step further. Focus on what you want more of, not just what you want. In the debt example, I said I wanted to pay off debt. When I asked myself what I wanted one step further than paying off debt, it was more money to save and spend. What have you been focused on? Paying the bills? Focus on paying the bills will lead to more bills. Have you been focused on sacrificing? That will lead to more opportunities to sacrifice to present themselves. Take some time to evaluate what you have been focusing on and then compare it to what's been showing up in your life. Then think about what you really want. In the example of enough money to pay the bills, maybe you want to feel peaceful. Focus on feeling peaceful. Or it could be that you want money left over. If that's the case, what do you want the money left over for? Savings? To have fun? Focus on those things. Sometimes it's easier to understand this concept when you do not use money as the focus. Use something where there is no attachment. Take a topic like elephants or koalas. Pick one. Start focusing your energy on them. Do some research. Maybe find a picture you love and change your screensaver. Focus for a couple days on koalas or elephants and then see how much more you see of elephants or koalas in your life. You'll be amazed at how they start showing up in your life. Or how they might have been there all along, but you did not notice because that wasn't what you were telling your brain to focus on. This is a great way to understand the role focus plays in what's showing up in your life. When you start to notice the koalas or elephants showing up, play with something to do with money. It could be something simple like dollar bills. Or something else like millionaires. Millionaires would be a fun place to play. Put a graphic with $1 million or a picture of a millionaire as your screensaver. You could start reading The Millionaire Next Door. Then you could do some research on the average age of a millionaire. Find out whether millionaires are more likely to inherit their wealth or create it on their own. You will likely find within a couple days of doing research on millionaires, you'll be bombarded with them in your life. This happens because you've switched your focus. Focusing on what you do not want happens very easily, which is why it's important to consciously focus on what you do want. It's easy to get caught up in paying the bills and making sure the money is there. It takes conscious effort to shift your focus to thinking about having more than enough to pay the bills. Focusing takes dedicated practice in the beginning, but once you master it, it gets easier. That's because you see more of what you want showing up. Then it becomes fun. What are some cool thoughts you can focus on? Money is all around me. Money is fun. Money comes easily to me. Money finds me. I have enough money. I love my money. Play with some of these and create some of your own. Take some time to identify what feels good and what feels better. Practice those thoughts. I get to watch this process all the time with the money group. Often it only takes a few days of focusing on money for extra money to show up for participants or for them to get a great idea about how to create more money easily. Focus matters. Tune your focus into money and abundance and watch what happens. Give yourself permission to do it differently. Another important step in shifting your focus is to give yourself permission. Give yourself permission to do it differently. Give yourself permission to make yourself happy. Give yourself permission to create wealth and enjoy your money. Give yourself permission to feel abundant and live a life that makes you happy. Giving yourself permission releases yourself from other people's ideas about how you should live your life and frees you up to focus on what you desire. It's possible you already knew some of what you've read, and even put it into practice before, but you haven't had success because you haven't given yourself permission to create your own path instead of follow someone else's. You get to choose your definition of success. You get to choose to live a life that fills you up, not just financially, but emotionally and spiritually as well. You get to be happy. Believe it. Accept it. Give yourself permission to do it. You can find permission slips at http://www.moneymoneymoneycourse.com/bookgifts if you want to make it official. If it feels good, print yourself out a permission slip and put it on the wall where you'll see it and be reminded every day. If you just need to say it out loud, do it. If you need to write about it in your journal, do it. If you need to do all of these things, do them. After giving yourself permission, go look for people similar to you doing what you want to do and living how you desire to live. This will amp up the belief that you can do it and support you in giving yourself permission to do it however you desire. You're worth it, and you have permission to live your life and follow your own path. From working too hard to life coach loving her life and business. I was born to a middle-class mother and father. My dad worked long hours. He was always gone before we woke up, and sometimes came home after we were in bed. He worked most weekends when I was younger. It's pretty clear where I learned to believe you have to work really hard for your money. The vacations we took consisted of driving to see family and friends. Nothing fancy. My dad was a hard worker, and that became ingrained in me. I have always been a hard worker. As I grew up, I always found ways to make money. Often it wasn't easy, but I didn't care because I enjoyed having money. I loved that intangible feel of freedom that came with having cash in my pocket or money in my checking account, so much so that at one point I had a job getting up at 4:30 a.m. to go babysit while my high school coach went to work out. Kudos to my mom, because she had to get up and drive me over there, and she wasn't getting paid. I grew up and went to college. I quit after 2 years, which was a total shock to anyone who knew me, but I had found an ad in the newspaper that required a BA in psychology. It paid $12 an hour. $12 an hour with a degree. In the hopes this was just a crappy example of what my future degree would yield me, I continued to look. Then I found multiple jobs for $10 an hour. I was making more than that serving lasagna at a local restaurant. I decided I wasn't going to make a living doing what I loved. $10 an hour wasn't a living. I gave up that dream and quit college to pursue another option I thought would make me more money. I gave up my dream of doing what I loved, thinking I could do something else I enjoyed and make money. I started as an independent contractor for a financial services company. The belief I had to work really hard reared its ugly head, and so I worked really hard. I tried so hard. I put in tons of hours and I gave up things that were really important to me to try and make it work. Not so surprisingly, this left me with little money, and extremely unhappy. That led me to take on the worst job I've ever done, delivering phone books. In case you've never experienced this job, let me paint the picture. These were the big books and there were 3 of them. One that was about 3 inches thick, another that was 2, and a third that was about an inch. The thing about delivering phone books is they provide bags all 3 phone books have to go in and they also have to have inserts, advertisements, stuffed in them. This process begins when you pick up as many books, inserts and bags as you can handle. You then carry them in your house so you can put the bags together. You follow this up with hauling them back out to your car. You then drive to a location that is usually on the opposite side of town. You park, grab as many bags as you can possibly carry, and start walking up and down driveways dropping bags at the front door. You then walk back to the car, move it, and repeat the process. From my experience, the process took 3 times as long as the job paid. Did I mention, I did this in Colorado, in December? The bitter cold and utter exhaustion of carrying phone books for 3 days straight to the tune of $6 an hour is what prompted my decision to go back and finish my degree. With my body frozen to its core, $10 an hour inside actually seemed like a promising career. After graduating, I decided to get my master's, because that's how you make $17 an hour instead of $10 in the psychology arena. As I started my master's program, I needed a job to keep me afloat while I finished my degree. I landed a filing job that paid $12 an hour. I only occasionally used my psych degree to handle my coworkers. My work ethic kicked in again, and what was supposed to be a 3-month temporary job became a full-time permanent position. Over the years, I worked my money mojo and that job evolved in responsibility and pay. Everything was wonderful, except that I worked too many hours, which I didn't mind while I was hourly, because I liked getting paid time and half. I felt I had more control over my paycheck. I could work more and make more. However, when I got promoted and moved to salary, my hours started to eat at me. I no longer felt like I had control. My job now controlled me. I was living the American dream. I had a job. I bought a house. When I finished my master's I was offered a school counseling job. It wasn't a fit, so I stayed where I was. I settled into the groove of the dream. During this time, I had started working my money mojo. I created awesome raises, and other abundance, but I realized I wasn't living my dream. I didn't want to go to a job every day from 7 to 5. I didn't want my schedule to be controlled by someone else. I didn't want to have to go to a job every day. I didn't want to dread going to bed Sunday night, because I knew when I woke up, I'd have to go to work for the week. I wanted to be able to go to conferences, to learn and network, and go visit friends without having to ask for days off. I wanted to be spontaneous and take off and do something when I wanted to. Most of all, I wanted to be able to take off and go speak to groups about how to change their thoughts and beliefs when the opportunities arose. I stopped putting my name out there as a speaker, because it was made clear to me my job needed to be my one priority. In addition, I was still working all kinds of side jobs, because while I made good money, I never felt like I had enough of it. Some, I really enjoyed. But even the ones I loved started to feel like chores, because my life was taken over by all my jobs. My time was being sucked away from me in the pursuit of money. I was exhausted. During this time, I had held tight to the vision I wanted my own life coaching practice. That was my dream, helping people shift their thoughts and beliefs and let go of things that aren't serving them. I wanted to run workshops and bring people together. I longed to do client sessions and to be able to go speak when I was asked. I had been very successful at changing my thoughts and beliefs, increasing my own abundance mindset, and I loved teaching to big groups. I pushed and pushed that dream. Every hour I wasn't working another job, I was focused on creating a life coaching practice. I pushed, and for a while I had it well off the ground, but without the time to market like I had been, it fell flat. That was actually a good thing, because after working 50+ hours a week, plus my side jobs, I didn't have a whole lot of energy left to give to my clients. It felt like I was giving them everything I had left, which left nothing for me. After realizing that creating a thriving practice while working full-time wasn't going to be a viable option for me, I shifted to work on making products, and creating passive income from life coaching. I had brilliant ideas, and a stack of amazing material to put out into the world. However, it didn't matter how much fun I had creating it, I would end up more frustrated afterward. It seemed as though Sunday night at 8 p.m. would roll around just as I was about 80% finished completing something. Then I would have to get ready for the week, because I had spent the rest of my weekend creating a masterpiece. I would grow to be frustrated, which would lead to feeling drained instead of excited. I knew it would be another 5 days before I would be able to get back to my project. If I had any plans the next weekend, my project would then be put on the back burner. I found myself growing unhappier by the minute, because I loved to go out and hang out with friends, but I often had to make a choice between being social and working on the projects I was passionate about. Often I would put off going out, but even that wasn't enough. I just couldn't get the things I was working on completed in the manner I desired. The life kept getting sucked out of me. The worst part is, the harder I worked, the less money I had. I had no idea how this was possible. In 6 months, I went from having $5,000 in savings to having over $10,000 in debt. I remember sitting in my living room in my favorite chair, angry that I had to be to work in 12 hours. It was Sunday at 7 p.m., afraid because I didn't know how I was going to pay off the debt, judging myself because I had gotten into debt, scared that this was going to be the rest of my life, working too hard, with nothing to show for it, feeling exhausted all the time, and bitter because I had to choose between spending time with people I love, doing what I love, and having time to myself. Why should I have to choose? There is no way I could live this way for the next 40 years. I wasn't living a dream. I was living a nightmare that I had to wake up at 5:30 a.m. every day to live. In that moment, I must have been surrounded by angels, cheering me on. That is the moment I decided my life was going to be different. I decided I wasn't going to work so hard. I decided I was going to change my belief that I had to work so hard for every cent I made. I decided I was going to have more to show for my money. I decided I was going to pay attention to how I was spending my money. I decided I was going to create more money with less effort. I decided I was going to find a way to quit my job so I could live my dream life where I had plenty of time for me, plenty of time for the ones I love, and plenty of time to do the work I love. I started my quest for freedom. There were many moments of doubt after the decision. I wanted to turn back. My brain told me this couldn't be done. There was no one around me with the same goals and dreams I had. There was no example in my life other than to work really hard for many, many years. What if I was wrong? What if I couldn't do it? One by one, I slayed the dragons of my thoughts and beliefs over and over again. They were like video game dragons that come back to life every time you turn the game on, or in my case woke up. There were days I spent 50% of my waking hours changing my thoughts and beliefs to support the fact that I could do this, using my metaphorical sword to fight the thoughts and beliefs that were ingrained in me to death. I had to learn how to think differently. I had to learn how to believe it was possible. I had to move forward on my quest believing it was possible. I had to believe I could create a new relationship with myself, and with my money, that allowed me to make better use of the money I already had, create more of it, and do it all while increasing the joy in my life. The biggest dragon I had to slay was my own thinking. I was the one keeping my life stuck on the hamster wheel. I was the one making choices that didn't support my happiness. I was the one believing I had to work really, really hard in order to deserve the money I was receiving. I was the one putting myself last on the priority list instead of first. I was the one who had to start believing I was worth more. As I learned this, it became easier to turn my back on the dragons and head toward the singing forest animals, the good thoughts and beliefs. The interesting thing about the dragons was that they were chained where they were. The more I learned to walk in the opposite direction, the smaller they got, until they disappeared from sight. I turned from the thoughts and beliefs I no longer wanted to possess, and focused on the beautiful playground in front of me. I focused on what I wanted. I invested more in what made me truly happy and less in what gave me a temporary high. I started to fuel my happiness from the inside out. I made choices every day that supported who I am, and where I was going. I stopped pushing, and allowed myself to be called in the directions of my intentions. I fell madly in love with me and my life, and I began to guard my happiness like the Holy Grail. Self-love is the ultimate dragon slayer and changed my financial life. It fueled my desire and commitment to change the thought and belief patterns that had been running. It put on my rose-colored glasses so that I could see all the possibilities. It gave me the peace of mind to know something better would come along when something didn't work out. It gave me the confidence to go for what I wanted and take leaps of faith to make that happen. It led me down the path of passive real estate income, which was the path to my financial freedom. Most importantly, it gave me the courage to walk away from a job that paid over 6 figures because through self-love, I learned freedom is priceless to me. There is no amount of money worth my freedom. Surrendering to that, knowing that I could live the unconventional life, I owe that all to myself and my self-love practice. With self-love as the basis, and a money persona that supports the successful attraction and management of money, I was able to create a passive income in real estate that provided enough income that I could leave my job to begin my dream business, of being an international life coach, lithiologist, transformational speaker, and leader of programs across the globe. Since letting go of my job, I have spoken to groups of entrepreneurs, launched a self-love program, I created the Money course, which has participants from 29 countries, and I've served a handful of wonderful clients and wrote this book. All this was possible because I invested in self-love, and committed to changing my money persona. I left the certainty of my paycheck. I trusted that I knew myself and that I had done the calculations correctly. I trusted that I had improved my relationship with money, and I could create it outside of a job and a paycheck. I trusted I had become someone different. That I had become the money persona I previously desired to be, and I could go about living as her. She had become me. What I learned when I left my job is that I had created awesome thoughts and beliefs about money when I had a job. Those thoughts and beliefs lead to big increases in my salary and the ability to create a substantial passive income, but when I left my job, it temporarily changed my relationship with money. Change in any relationship rocks the boat. The change in my relationship with money, steady paycheck to living off my rental income, was a change and my relationship got rocked. I started seeing money fly out of my account. I could account for it, and it was practical, but it created fear and anxiety inside of me. I felt like I was bleeding financially, and I couldn't stop it. I knew enough to know I needed to get it under control. Those kinds of feelings were going to create more money flowing out, and were not going to support me in creating a successful business. My focus had turned back toward lack, and I needed to get it back to abundance. I had outlined a money manifesting program 6 months before I left my job. I didn't have the time to create it then, so the outline was just sitting in my computer. What better way to turn my finances around than with my own system? I went to work doing the program, for myself, and creating the program for others. For me, it was going back to basics. I had practices in place for my abundance mindset that I'd practiced for so long, they had become a habitual part of my day. Once I left my job and things changed, my habits changed. Practices I had developed while I was working changed, and I had to get back in the habit of creating abundance. I had to turn my focus back to attracting money. I followed my program as I wrote it, and money started flowing in easily from my business. Money stabilized in my bank account, and I went on to increase my passive real estate income by 30%, all of this while gallivanting around the country on a multitude of trips. Money flows easily to me, again. I am living my dream life. When I defined what success looks like for me, this is it. It consists of lots of time to do the things I love. It means getting up when I want, and taking the time to start my day with working out, meditation and other things that are sacred to me. Living the life of my dreams means I can work from anywhere. It means I can take off and go visit the people that are important to me. It means I can travel and explore. It means I can meet a friend for lunch any day I want. It means when Sunday at 8 p.m. rolls around, I am at peace, because I've had fun all weekend. Monday I dive back into doing what I love. It means I can attract the money I need to support the life I love living. For me, success isn't just defined by how big my pile of money is, although I'm in the process of creating a big pile. Success is about having enough money to support me living my dream life. It's about having the choice to work, or not. I was caught up in how much money could I make. I was willing to work very hard to get it, until I realized that was someone else's dream. I like my dream better. I can still create a lot of money on the path of ease and grace, doing what I love. How to stick with it when it's hard. As you walk down the yellow brick road toward your new financial mindset and abundance creation, the greatest obstacle you will face is getting taken off the path to your desired destination, however you define that. Many things can take you off the path. It's possible your own brain will work to derail your progress at first. You may encounter friends and family who would rather you stay with them, instead of grow and blossom into a financially savvy person. You may even be tempted to fall back into your old habits simply because it's easier. You may also find yourself caught up in the reality of what is, instead of focusing on what you want. When you find yourself off track, instead of getting discouraged, focus your attention back to where you want to go. The best way to do that is to understand what is going on, and have a support system in place to catch you and support the road back onto your path. The first thing that might take you off your path is your brain. Your brain develops habits of thought and emotion, and it has a tendency to prefer the familiar, even to the point where it will only present you with a reality which matches its existing beliefs. The good news is that changing your brain is easy, and like anything, it takes a little awareness and a little consistency. In the same way an alcoholic's body goes through withdrawal when they cease to take in alcohol, your brain goes through detox when you cease to feed it the negative emotional messages as you have been about money. The cells in your brain use receptors to receive the chemical message of emotion, and they build more receptors to match whatever emotion you experience most. As you begin to change your emotions about money, from negative to positive, the receptors designed to receive the negative emotions aren't going to be fed, and thus you're going to experience brain detox. Your neurons will adapt to the new positive emotions. It just takes time. During the time of transition, you might experience unexpected mood swings or emotions like anger or anxiety that don't seem quite right for the circumstances. This is a good sign, because it means you are changing. It literally means your brain is changing to support what you desire. If you do experience these emotions, it's important to be really good to yourself. Be gentle. Be supportive rather than judgmental. You're growing and you need to give yourself a little extra love. Joining the Money program, http://www.moneymoneymoneycourse.com/bookgifts, is a great way to keep your brain focused. The course is designed to give you steps to implement new money habits and shift you into an abundance mindset. It is a program that runs daily for 30 days, so that your brain is given new money information to focus on every day. It's easier to stay on track with the daily focus. Another place you may get off the path is when you talk to your friends and family. Deep down, your friends and family want what is best for you. They want you to be safe and happy, which is why when you say something that sounds foreign to them, like, "I'm adapting an abundance mindset," they might share with you what goes on in their head. If they're not abundant, or don't believe you can change your relationship with money, they might not be the positive support you were hoping for during your time of transition to an abundance mindset. This is okay. It's a good sign. It means you're in the process of creating a new path. If they're not supportive, it's because it's unfamiliar. It's unfamiliar to you too, because abundance isn't something you've experienced before, but you're willing to take the lead and do it. When they hear you talk about abundance, if it triggers the scarcity mindset in them, they're going to warn you because they care. Kindly acknowledge them, and check back in with yourself as to what you want. Listen to yourself, and find your direction. It's my general rule not to take advice from anyone who isn't living the life I desire to live. The best safeguard to letting other people's voices get in your head is to have a safe, positive space you can grow your abundance mindset. That is one of the reasons money is designed the way it is. There is a Facebook group filled with people changing their financial mindset, and they want to support you. The group also comes with me to support the changes you're making. Support is key to your growth. In addition to people in your life knocking you off the path to abundance, your habits may be another place you get off track and lose focus. After you've done the work to identify the beliefs you want to change, focusing on your new beliefs takes dedication until they take hold. Your old thoughts and beliefs are habits. It takes diligent focus to change your habits and let your new thoughts and beliefs take hold. Money is a great way to create new habits around your thoughts and beliefs. It gives you 30 days in a row of abundance mindset practices to focus on. It's continuously directing your focus in the direction of an abundance mindset. Getting caught up in your current reality might be the biggest way you'll get off the path to your goal of an abundance mindset and life. It's really easy when you're sitting there with a pile of debt, working too hard for too little, exhausted and miserable, to get caught up in your current reality and think nothing can change. The key here is to not let yourself fall into this place. The first step to keeping yourself from the pit of despair over where you are now, is to amp up your investment in self-love. Self-love is the practice that will fuel your new financial mindset. If you give yourself enough gas, you'll get where you want to go. When you fall short and are running on E, you won't have the energy to support your new financial persona. If ever you find yourself in the pit, go back to the self-love chapter and dive in head first. Surrounding yourself with positive people, who are making progress, will also keep you inspired, out of the pit and on your path to abundance. Money is a great place to find inspiration and see that change is possible. The group celebrates a lot, and joining in the celebrations of others who are on their way will support you on your journey. You will also have people there to support you on your journey. If you find yourself discouraged and off track, it's likely because you have lost sight of what you want. Money makes it easy because it lays out a game plan with reminders of what to focus on. The main thing to remember is to turn away from the dragon, and walk or run toward the beautiful meadow. You might have to do this over, and over and over again, but you can do it. One way to turn away from the dragon is to celebrate every positive step along the way. Create the habit of celebration in your life. Seek out those people who are happy to celebrate with you every step of the way. Start a celebration journal, and write in it every time you have something to celebrate. Create a celebration night of your own or join the one at Money. Celebrate as much as you can. The biggest thing you can do for yourself, to support the shift to an abundance mindset, is to put a support system in place. It's hard to do anything alone. A support system is a group of people who believes you can change, is going to positively encourage change, and will celebrate with you as you move forward on your journey. Invest as much time as possible with these people. Encourage each other. Some people are lucky enough to have their lives filled with these people. If you haven't found your magical group like this yet, you may want to tap into the magic that happens in money for your support system. The coolest thing about the group is that everyone has the same desire, to increase their abundance and change their financial mindset. They already know they can do that and they are in the process of making the same changes you are. All kinds of things can get you off your path to abundance, your brain, other people, and your current reality. The keys to staying focused on your path are to be really good to yourself and have a support system. Invest in self-love, and if you don't already have a super supportive group in your life, find one. Reach out to friends, and ask them to walk this money mindset journey with you. You can intend a support group shows up, or as mentioned before, you can plug into money, where the focus and support are already in place waiting for you. You can do this. Your financial abundance is the result of your focus and your mindset. You have the power to create the financial life you desire to live. It takes focus and attention to get your thoughts and beliefs on track to where you want to go. You are in control of how you budget and the words you use to activate the attraction of money. Step 1 is reading this book and gaining the understanding that you have the power to change your financial future. Step 2 is evaluating where you are currently. Take inventory of your thoughts and beliefs about money. Step 3 is implementing tools provided in this book, and the Money Mindset Workbook available at http://www.moneymoneymoneycourse.com/bookgifts. Step 4 is to register for Money, and intensify your financial flow. These steps don't have to be done in one day. Start to set aside some time to focus on your financial mindset daily. Work through this book, and the workbook, http://www.moneymoneymoneycourse.com/bookgifts, as you can. Remember to take note of your process as you move along. When you're ready, jump into Money, and enjoy the course and the support of the group for turbocharging your money mojo. The most important knowledge you can gain from this book is that you have the power to change your financial situation and your relationship with money. You get to create the experience with money you desire. You have the ability to improve that relationship every day. You are capable of attracting more money, working less for more, having money to support your dreams and living a life where money increases your joyful experiences. See the only outcome as your success. Take a second to think about opening bank statement and having more than enough money, or taking your dream vacation, or having a job or business that supports your life success. Decide in this moment that the only possibility is your success, however you define it for yourself. If you can read this book, you are capable of creating a different financial experience for yourself. Commit to yourself to continuing to improve your money mindset. Commit to yourself to work through the Money Mindset Workbook, http://www.moneymoneymoneycourse.com/bookgifts, and then join Money. Make a commitment to yourself to start budgeting for attraction. If you commit to yourself, your success is inevitable. The way you look at money has probably already changed, simply because you read this book. How do you see money differently now than when you purchased this book? Are you more open to the possibility of your financial success? Are you excited to look at your money and evaluate your budget? Do you feel empowered because you now have the steps to make changes? Take note of how your money mindset is already improving. Celebrate that. If you made the shift to using the word invest instead of spend, you've already shifted your mindset hugely. Maybe you are now aware of how you have been depriving yourself, and see that not spending any money on yourself has been blocking the flow. Maybe you realized sometimes less money is equal to more happiness, if the cost of earning more drains you more than it's worth. There are so many ways you are already different, and will go out into the world seeing money differently. The magic potion to your financial success is your happiness. Investing in your true happiness is the guide for creating what you want. Loving yourself enough to honor what you desire and what makes you happy, even if it looks different than what everyone else wants, will make all the difference. Letting your happiness lead the way to your financial success will set the course. Leading with your happiness means making yourself a priority and investing in self-love, both financially and emotionally. This is the one thing that if you don't do, will keep you from the ultimate financial success. You may end up with more money, but if you didn't honor yourself in the process, you won't end up with a life you love. Money in the bank without the life you love will leave you wanting something money can't buy. Attention to your happiness will lead the way to financially supporting a life you love to live. Your happiness is the fuel to creating something different. Without fuel, you don't have the energy to create new thoughts and beliefs. Fuel your success by focusing on your happiness and taking really good care of yourself. You deserve a better financial life than the one you've been living. Make the time investment in yourself to give yourself the life you desire. If you haven't already, go download the Money Mindset Workbook, http://www.moneymoneymoneycourse.com/bookgifts, and if you're ready now, join Money, http://www.moneymoneymoneycourse.com/bookgifts. The best investment you can make in your financial future is the investment of your time. Time, at first, to evaluate and create a different path. Commit the time right now. Put yourself on your schedule. Make you, and your financial future, your priority. One of the most joyful experiences in my life is celebrating the progress and success of others, especially when it comes to money. Please keep me informed of your progress. Email me your success stories. Tell me about them on Facebook. There is no small victory when it comes to forging a new financial path. Celebration puts you in the fast lane to wherever you want to go. The more you celebrate, the more you'll have to celebrate. One great way to get extra juice out of your celebrations is to share them. I would love to celebrate with you, So keep me informed of your big successes, and especially your little victories. I truly believe time is your most precious commodity. It's the one thing you can't ever get back. I deeply appreciate you taking the time to read this book. I honor whatever in you prompted you to choose this book to spend your time reading. I appreciate you trusting me by opening this book and continuing to turn the pages. If there is anything I can do to support your financial success, please let me know. You are more powerful than you know. You trusted your instinct to read this book. You committed to finishing it. You are already a rock star. You can do this. I believe in you, and your ability to create the life you want to live. Keep moving forward. Keep learning. Keep evaluating. Keep choosing the better thought and belief. You can do this. I know you can. Acknowledgements. Writing a book is a journey and a destination. This one exists because of some very special people in my life. First, my editor Ginger, thank you for your patience and suggestions. Kate for your wonderful feedback and guidance. John for designing my amazing cover. Angela for creating such a wonderful home for authors who are also coaches. When one person follows their dreams, it opens the door for so many to follow. To my families, plural. I am blessed to not only have a biological family I adore, but to be considered family to so many groups of people. I love you all and you make my life so much sweeter. To my soul friend Lisa, because you remind me how far I've come and always help me remember where I want to go. I am blessed to have you as part of my life. My coaching buddies, Jeanette, Jaque, Ginny, Laura, Joy, Lainey, Rachel and Melanie. The journey is more fun because we're on it together. Jeanette, the brain whisperer, thank you for helping me to make sure I had the brain science parts correct. About the author. Cassie Parks is definitely not your mama's money advisor. By investing in her happiness, defining her idea of success, leveraging the law of attraction, and a little bit of financial sass and savvy, Shay earned her financial freedom at age 32. She now lives her dream life, coaching others to create lives they love to live. Contact Cassie Parks. 1020 15th Street. At 12 M. Denver, Company 80202. 72023152213. Book page, http://www.moneymoneymoneycourse.com/moneybook. Money website, http://www.moneymoneymoneycourse.com. Coaching page, http://www.cassieparks.com. Facebook, https://www.facebook.com/spiralup. Twitter, https://twitter.com/spiraluptoday. Pinterest, http://www.pinterest.com/cassieparks/. About Difference Press. Built for aspiring authors who are looking to share transformative ideas with others throughout the world, Difference Press offers life coaches, healing professionals, and other non-fiction authors a comprehensive solution to get their book published without breaking the bank or taking years. A boutique-style alternative to self-publishing, Difference Press boasts a fair and easy-to-understand profit structure, low-priced author copies, and author-friendly contract terms. Tackling the technical end of publishing. The comprehensive publishing services offered by Difference Press mean that your book will be designed by an experienced graphic artist, available in printed, hard copy format, and coded for all ebook readers, including the Kindle, iPad, Nook, and more. We handle all of the technical aspects of your book creation so you can spend time focusing on your business. Over 20 years of experience nurturing books that make a difference. Founder Dr. Angela Lauria has been bringing the literary ventures of authors and personal coaches to life since 1994. You can learn more about Dr. Lauria's innovative approach to book creation or take advantage of a variety of free writing resources at www.authorincubator.com. Your delicious book. If you're like many authors, you have wanted to write a book for a long time. Maybe you have even started a book. Or 2. Or 3. But somehow, as hard as you have tried to make your book a priority, other things keep getting in the way. Some authors have fears about their writing abilities or whether or not what they have to say is important enough. For others, the challenge is making the time to write their books or having the accountability to see it through to the end. It's not just finding the time and confidence to write that is an obstacle. The logistics of finding an editor, hiring an experienced designer, and figuring out all the technicalities of publishing stops many authors in transformation. For more information on how to participate in our Next Your Delicious Book program, visit www.authorincubator.com/delicious. Other books by Difference Press. Why Smart People Do Stupid Things by Dr. Frank Stas. Radical Abundance, A Journey from Not Enough to Plenty by Christy Lambert. Surviving 30, Waking Up to Your True Self Through Your Saturn Return by Karen Hawkwood. Choosing Delight, True Life Stories of Quitting a Soul-Sucking Job and Doing What You Love for a Living by Layla Day. Own It, Powerful Speaking for Powerful Women by Trisha Karp. Personal Alchemy, The Missing Ingredient for Law of Attraction Success by Michelle Martin Dobbins. Married to a Vegan, Is It for Better or for Worse When a Spouse Embraces Healthy Living and a Plant-Based Low-Fat Diet by Karen Albers. Speak Up for Your Business, Presentation Secrets for Entrepreneurs Ready to Tell, Sell, and Compel by Michelle Mazur Ph.D. The Crowdfunding Book, A How to Book for Entrepreneurs, Writers, and Inventors by Patty Lennon. Next Steps. To sum up, here are the 5 steps to walking your new financial path and increasing your success with money. Read this book, you've done that. Download and complete your Money Mindset Workbook. http://www.moneymoneymoneycourse.com/bookgifts. Set up your budget for attraction. http://www.moneymoneymoneycourse.com/bookgifts. When you're ready, join Money, Money, Money. http://www.moneymoneymoneycourse.com. Keep me informed of your progress by emailing me at cassie@cassieparks.com or connecting with me on Facebook https://www.facebook.com/spiralup. Twitter https://twitter.com/spiraluptoday. Pinterest http://www.pinterest.com/cassieparks/. If you feel more empowered after reading this book and would love to show your appreciation, please leave a review on Amazon. I truly appreciate those who take the time to inspire others to read the book by sharing their thoughts. If you know of a place or group who could benefit from hearing me teach concepts from this book live, please send the event organizer or radio producer to www.cassieparks.com/speaking. And there's more. Are you ready to attract more abundance into your life? Join Money, Money, Money and get daily inspiration and guidance for amping up your money vibe and experience more money in your life. http://www.moneymoneymoneycourse.com. Money, Money, Money is the only pay after you manifest course. You register, complete the course and pay 10% of what you've manifest. People have manifested from $20, $25, engaging in the program. http://www.moneymoneymoneycourse.com. If you're curious about my money manifesting adventures, Money 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 is the course to take. Throughout the program you learn my favorite money manifesting stories, how I worked my mindset on a daily basis, and practical law of attraction guidance for attracting more money into your life. I pull back the veil, and you get to see how I manage my own money vibe. You also get my support, as well as the group. We form a community. This program is my baby. I poured my heart and soul into it, and if you do too, you'll attract more money and more financial success into your life. http://www.moneymoneymoneycourse.com